Welcome to Shambhala Gardens, guys. Today is the 28th of December. Last time I took you inside my greenhouse to show you what I had going on here. Today the weather's a little bit more agreeable. Just had a really bad storm yesterday, but no rain today, so I figured I'd take you out into the garden, show you what I got going on here. Everything's very messy and disorganized right now. I do have some crops coming in. Brussels sprouts, kale, broccoli, a few beds of those. Mustard greens over here looking beautiful. I've been mulching these perimeters here all the way around the garden, all winter, pretty much all fall. Sheet mulching, laying down cardboard, and then just dumping many trash cans loads of leaves on top of it. So hopefully that'll keep the weeds off my perimeter and keep them from bombing my garden with weeds. There's enough weeds in this garden to begin with, but hopefully that'll help me start to get it under control. So a lot of everything's kind of trash looking in here because there's a lot of transition going on. These raised beds are coming out, and I'm going to convert them all into these market garden style row beds, particularly because these raised beds that I built out of trees years ago are really starting to fall apart already. This climate is very wet, and there's a lot of termites, and it didn't really last any longer than I would have expected a raised bed that I made from Home Depot lumber to last. So everything's getting converted to the market garden style row beds. I've taken 2 beds out here and converted them to row beds. Still need some work, but you know, the logs are gone and the rows are broad forked and created. I gotta amend them and keep working them. As you can see, a lot of this is tarped up. It's kind of messy looking because it's all asymmetrical. It's kind of packed in like a Tetris board. Eventually it's going to be row beds, and I obviously don't have enough tarps. But over here I have a cover crop of hairy vetch. Cover crops do well in the fall and winter here, not so much in the summer, but this is creating just a carpet, and it's also fixing nitrogen, which is really awesome. I've got 3 blueberry bushes here, pumping out a lot of blueberries for me every year. Peach tree, and I've got 3 pecan trees in the back here. There's some more transitioning going on back here. These 4 beds just have never done well for me, and I'm not sure if it's because they don't get enough light or because I just haven't had enough compost to get back here and amend them properly, but I'm just going to turn these into more of a permaculture setting. I've already got 2 of my pecan trees planted in there. I've got some clover and more vetch planted. There's also sunchokes. I've replanted my sunchokes in there too, so there'll be lots of sunchokes next year. I will do a video on sunchokes when they pop up and talk to you about how amazing that is to have on the homestead. I believe I'm going to put a lemon tree in this bed here, and then of course more sunchokes. This right here is an olive tree that I've never seen any olives from. But you know, it's a pretty tree. I had a dog that we buried here and planted this olive tree on her grave. Grave's kind of falling apart, unfortunately. But that's what I got going on. I have some elderberry trees, not looking so great. This is pomegranate. I've got blackberries along this fence line that you don't currently see. In this little keyhole garden bed here, I am probably going to plant maybe some purslane and some lavender, some kind of you know, beneficial insect attracting, and maybe some herbs. These beds over here are beneficial insect attracting flower beds. We've got this one especially. There's all kinds of echinacea and whatnot. These are hibiscus. Not exactly I've never seen really very many bees on the hibiscus, but it's definitely beautiful. So more blueberries here. These are pineapple guava. I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing at. These spinach beds here have not done well. That's why they're so weedy. They weren't doing well before they went to weeds, believe me. I've got a tray in the greenhouse that I'm going to redo these beds with, and hopefully growing them in the greenhouse and transplant them will do better than they did. These were all direct seeded, so it didn't do too well. This bed right here was sunchokes, and it'll continue to be sunchokes. I need to clean this up and remulch it. Got a lot of sunchokes out of this little tiny bed here. This bed here obviously needs a lot of work, but I'm going to fill this in and plant strawberries in this L-shaped bed here. Asparagus here. I have another bed of asparagus over there. I've got some goji berries here and there. I will probably plant more asparagus in this messy looking bed in between these two here. So a lot of stuff going on. I'm converting a lot more of this to permaculture for the simple fact that I do work a full-time job. So it's really difficult to get into the garden enough to really maintain a garden of the size you're looking at. Probably more than 1/8 of an acre, which is quite a lot for one person. Not using any machinery at all. I got my broad fork, my garden rake, my spade, and my stirrup hose. That's pretty much all I'm using here. So there's no tillers, there's no DCS walk behind tractor yet, no power harrow. All the things that I really want for Christmas someday, but not yet. So that's what we got going on here. It's kind of a mess. But you're going to see in the spring, this is going to be really cleaned up and really green and beautiful. It's going to be a lot of stuff growing here. And I'm really looking forward to showing that to you. Until then, I'll talk to you soon.